Reverend Mark Bliss was born September 23, 1931. He went home to be with the Lord on December 18, 2017. He is survived by his wife Gladys and 3 grandchildren. Mark and Gladys's children are Karen, Debbie, Mark, and Melody. Mark was an ordained minister with the Assemblies of God. Following their education at Central Bible College, Pastor Mark and Gladys served as world missionaries for over 20 years. They served as directors of a leper colony in Liberia, and they served in Iran for 15 years, where their ministry included planting a thriving church and serving as the directors of the first Bible school in Tehran. During this time, Mark also served as the vice president of the board of managers of the International Afghan Mission, representing the Assemblies of God. In 1980, they moved to Bangladesh to pastor at an English-speaking church, where Mark also served as the field chairman. Reverend Gail Breeden was born April 1, 1940. She went home to be with the Lord on February 7, 2017. Her husband James preceded her to heaven. Gail and James had 3 children, Kimberly, Christine, and James. Gail was a certified ministry with the New York Ministry Network. She served on the staff at Calvary Assembly of God in Pleasantville, New York, teaching and preaching, coordinating home groups, and overseeing the prayer counseling ministry. She also authored and edited several Christian publications. Reverend Frederic Jimmy Caston was born February 25, 1927. He went home to be with the Lord on September 14, 2017. He is survived by his wife, Josephine. Jimmy and Josephine had 3 children and 9 grandchildren. Jimmy was a U.S. Navy veteran of World War II, having served aboard the U.S. Briareus. After completing his education through Berean College, he became a certified minister with the New York District and served at Trinity Assembly of God in Middletown, New York for 46 years. Jimmy was faithful Sunday school teacher, board member. Most recently, he called Bread of Life Assembly of God in Beauville his home. Reverend Thomas Formica was born October 30, 1950. He went home to be with the Lord on January 8, 2018. He is survived by his wife, Marlene. Thomas and Marlene had 2 children, Sarah and Matthew. Thomas earned his Bachelor of Science from Valley Forge Christian College and received his ordination credentials with the New Jersey District. Thomas pastored at several churches in Massachusetts and New Jersey before moving to New York in 2007 to take the senior pastor role at Delhi Assembly of God. Rev George Fox was born December 17, 1937. He went home to be with the Lord on December 7, 2017. He is survived by his wife, Rev Dorothy Fox. George and Dorothy had 4 children, Elizabeth, Christine, Linda, and Janet, and 6 grandchildren. George served in the U.S. Navy and was a retired New York City police officer. He was an ordained minister with the New York District as of 2008. George and Dorothy served on the pastoral staff at Cypress Hills Assembly of God for many years before they both retired in 2017. Rev Heinz Schmidt was born August 12, 1937 in Germany. He went home to be with the Lord on August 7, 2017, and is survived by his wife, Renata. Heinz and Renata had 2 children, Rita and Ralph. At the age of 41, Heinz attended Central Bible College, feeling called to be a world missionary, and received his licensed ministry credentials with the New York District Assemblies of God. He received his ordination with the Assemblies of God through the German district. Heinz and Renata served on the mission field for over 20 years in the countries of Mexico, Netherlands, Antilles, and Eastern Germany. They pioneered 7 different church plants, with the final church being planted back in his birth country of Germany. Heinz and Renata resided in Springfield, Missouri, following his retirement in 2004. Rev Donald Lacy was born January 30, 1935. He went home to be with the Lord on March 26, 2018. Donald's first wife, Betty, preceded him in death. He and Betty had 2 daughters, Donna and Susan. He is survived by his wife, Jean, his daughters and stepdaughters, Melinda and Shannon. Donald served congregations in Bridgeton, New Jersey, and North Tonawanda, New York. After retirement, he and Jean continued to lead a small group Bible study in their home. Rev Carol Leach was born November 9, 1939. She went home to be with the Lord September 1, 2017. Her husband, Frederic, preceded her to heaven. Carol and Frederic had 2 children, Ellen and Paula. Carol was a certified minister with the New York Ministry Network. She obtained her education for credentials through the Breeden School of the Bible. Shortly after was credentialed with the New York Ministry Network. She also served on staff at the Assembly of God in Greene. She then became a member of Calvary's Love Assembly of God in Johnson City, where she continued to pursue her passion to minister to senior adults. Rev Wes Mathis was born June 8, 1948. He went home to be with the Lord on July 15, 2017, and is survived by his wife, Carol. Wes and Carol had 1 daughter named Kimberly. Wes received a bachelor's degree from Central Bible College in Springfield and went on to obtain his master's degree from International Bible Institute in Orlando. He received his ordination with the Assemblies of God through the Michigan District. Wes and Carol served several churches, including Saginaw First Assembly of God in Michigan and Century Assembly of God in California, and 2 churches in New York, Parkside Assembly of God in Port Chester, and Glove City's Assembly of God in Gloversville. Following a military assignment in Germany, Wes and Carol became Assembly of God World Missionaries to Japan. Their first assignment was at Yokota Christian Center in Tokyo, where they established a Berean school to train capable lay leadership for their congregation. They later transferred to Neighborhood Assembly of God in Okinawa, where they oversaw several ministries and trained leaders who eventually went on to lead their own churches. Rev Sonido Garcia was born December 15, 1919. She went home to be with the Lord on January 21, 2017. Her husband, Stephen, preceded her to heaven. Zenaida and Stephen had 3 children, Lois Ann, Jonathan, and Stephen. Zenaida was a certified credential holder with the New York Ministry Network and worked closely with her husband, serving at a Russian church in Brooklyn, followed by White Plains Assembly of God. She served in the Assemblies of God National Headquarters Sunday School Department for 25 years. She also taught Sunday school at Central Assembly for many years. After her retirement, Zenaida joined her husband and brother doing missionary work in Europe and Russia. Rev Esther Wallis was born May 10, 1926, and went home to be with the Lord on March 25, 2017. She is survived by her husband, Alexander. Esther and Alexander had 2 daughters, Kathleen and Cynthia. Esther attended Eastern Bible Institute and received her certified ministry credentials through the Pendle District. Esther served alongside her husband at churches in Illinois, New Jersey, North Carolina, and New York. Rev Morris Williams was born January 21, 1923, and went home to be with the Lord on November 3, 2017. He was preceded by his wife, Lucille. Morris and Lucille had 2 sons, Danny and Keith. Morris attended Central Bible College and was an ordained minister with the New York District. He also served in World War II in the Infantry and Air Corps with the rank of corporal. Alexander served churches in Albany, Oneonta, Holly, Plattsburgh, and Staten Island. He pastored Faith Assembly of God in Totenville, Staten Island for 34 years until retiring to Jackson, New Jersey in September 2007.